The United States has formally entered Israel's war with Iran. That's a bold statement. No war has been declared by the United States yet. But we have dropped ordnance and moved ships. That's bad. Escalating an already volatile regional conflict. That's 6,000 years old. On Sunday, President Trump ordered precision airstrikes on 3 of Iran's most heavily fortified nuclear sites. It is my opinion that Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan were not as important as we think they are. That's very common in intelligence. You know this too, Pop. When sites like that are like, hey, we've got this site here, it's usually a bullshit target or a fucking straight up dry hole. The strikes were the most direct American military action against Tehran in decades since 1979 and follow Israel's June 13th offensive targeting Iranian military infrastructure. While the strikes dealt a major blow, Tehran remains capable of inflicting serious damage. In a stark warning, Iranian officials declared that U.S. involvement risks causing irreparable damage and could trigger an all-out war across the region. Now, again, I'm going to mention that Iran are the Persians. These are not Arabs. They are not Arabs. They are their own people. This is King Xerxes from the 300, but not as gay. King Darius. These are an entirely different group of people and very much their own. Now, here, let's talk a little about the oil doomsday. Maybe more fear than reality, says this guy. U.S. strikes on several Iranian nuclear sites represent a meaningful escalation of the Middle East conflict that could lead Tehran to disrupt vital exports of oil and gas from the region. If Iran starts doing that to Bahrain and Qatar and the other countries, Arab Emirates, they will retaliate. It may not take the form of bombs. It will definitely take the form of banks. History tells us any disruption will likely be short-lived because of the money. Investors and energy markets may be on high alert since Israel launched a wave of surprise airstrikes across Iran, fearing disruption to oil and gas flows out of the Middle East, particularly through the Strait of Hormuz, which is a choke point between Iran and Oman, through which about 20% of global oil and gas demand flows through that little 40-mile gap. That's fucking huge.
Well, okay, now let's just war game this.
Do it.
All right, so let's just say they shut down that strait and it goes on for, say, 2 years. They literally would cut their own throat because America would basically just dig more wells. We become more self-sufficient, and America probably uses a large majority of that oil.
We do, but there is no way that will get shut down for 2 years, and I'll tell you why. The aforementioned bank war. The other countries that are involved there, the Arab Emirates, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, and even Oman, even though Oman actually sits on the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea, because disrupting their trade would cost them too much money and they would get angry very quickly. They don't retaliate via arms. They retaliate via banks. Iran would probably lose accounts everywhere.
And who are the people who run most of the banks?
Well, rumor has it that many of them like to wear smaller hats than normal.
And what word do you attach to that?
You're baiting me, and I'm not going to take the bait tonight. But we all know where this is going.
Drink!
There, I said it. Bolsheviks. Bolsheviks. Now drink.
So let's go to this here. Like a suicide bombing, Iran threatens making Hormuz Strait a trap for U.S. forces. What have we been talking about all fucking night? Iran ramps up threats to close and heavily mine the Strait of Hormuz as deterrence against U.S. intervention, signaling a willingness to trigger global economic fallout to protect its strategic interests. If Iran closes and mines the Straits of Hormuz, like I said, banking interests will retaliate.
Correct.
That is what is going to happen. There's no way they're going to be able to shut it down for 2 years, maybe a month at the outside, I would say.
But here's the thing, though, is all of these other Arabic nations lugged their money.
Yes.
And at some point, they're going to be
they have become very accustomed to it.
You're very angry with Israel. I got it. But, you're fucking it up for everybody. Could you just stop?
We're going to need you to dial it down, or we're going to have to kill a few people strategically.
Yeah.
Recent Iranian threats now include not only missile and drone attacks. Oh, there it is. There's the drone attacks in the Middle East, but also the dramatic move to close the Strait of Hormuz, a step that would trigger an immediate global spike in oil and gas prices. These are Iranian military drilling. They captured one of our boats, a small vessel, some time ago.
Yeah. Back when
Obama. A couple of years back.
Back during Obama.
Yes. An Iranian source quoted Tuesday in Qatar's Al Arabi Al Jadid newspaper warned of additional measures, including strait closure plans ready for implementation if conflict escalates to an all-out war with U.S. involvement. Mohsen Rezai, a member of Iran's Expediency Discernment Council, advised Supreme Leader Al-Khamenei, echoed the threat Wednesday. We have severely punished the enemy, but it is not enough. We have not yet used our land and sea capabilities, oil, the Strait of Hormuz, or new missile technologies. The
1979, 1980, did we or did we not sink most of Iran's navy like in 35 minutes?
We dealt them a significant blow. Yes. Wait, new information has come to light here. The narrow Strait of Hormuz, get this, spanning 21 miles at its tightest point, not 40.
Giggity.
God,
serves as a critical global transit artery, handling 1/3 of the world's seaborne oil and 1/5 of the liquefied natural gas.
Wow.
That is an epic nightmare of epic proportions.
Yeah, and all you
21 miles. We thought it was 40. We looked at that Google Maps. You lied to us. There must be shallow water there. There must be a shallow draft.
You're right. But the thing is you can drop sea mines.
Holy fuck.
By airplane. You don't even have to put a ship out there to do it.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know what's worse, dropping sea mines or seamen.
Don't get me started.
And every now and again,
do not get me started.
Listen, every now and again, we have a ship out there somewhere in the world that hits a World War II sea mine.
Yes,
and gets
that
smoked.
Is correct. They are still out there.
They're still out there.
Yep, that is an absolute fact.
And I'm not a fan of mines, so.
They're bad. I dealt with that. I did 2 rotations to the actual DMZ in Korea. While I was there, there were a total of 7 mine-related incidents.
Yep.
And then there was the day that the North Koreans shot up a South Korean patrol, so we agreed to help the South Koreans retaliate. Went in, and somewhere around here in this room, I have, the red triangle landmine sign.
Yes.
Right. The one that I have is in Korean on one side and in Korean on the other side. So it may or may not have come from the other side of the DMZ, where several of those may have been removed in the middle of the night. And the next morning we listened to their radio chatter and learned the words for medevac, traumatic leg injury, and critical blood loss.
Nice.
You had to retaliate like that. If they shot at you, you had to do something worse, or they would keep going.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it was a retaliatory thing.
Yeah. Listen.
Anyway, it's around here somewhere. I've got the landmine sign in my room.
You showed it to me once, I believe.
Yeah, I think I did. Yep. That was a hairy night. It was a hairy night because if you're caught on the other side of that line, there's no. You're basically disavowed.
Yeah, I get it. But I mean, so I just I don't understand. This is probably a show of force, which is unwise,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you have airfields right across, basically right across the street from Iran. You don't need to project this kind of force other than for arrogance and pride. And I've learned horrible lessons in my life in regards to arrogance and pride.
And it's usually some commander's arrogance and pride who doesn't
Yes.
care or understand the lives that he's putting at risk for that action.
Yeah. So we're literally just daring them to punch us in the jaw.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that jaw will be a boatload of our brothers or something
Yes.
similar. I'm not okay with that.
No, I am not either.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the meat caser box.